Hi everybody, welcome again to Mike Nierychlo Online. Today I'm carrying on with my series on education, and what I want to cover with you is the old world versus the new world. What are the differences between the two? I'm sure you've heard them mentioned before or even read it on the back of bottles. To start, the old world consists of older European countries, more or less. Let's say France, Germany, Italy, Spain, areas of the world like that have been making wine for thousands of years. The New World would more consist of us here, North America, South America, Australia, New Zealand. More the up-and-comers in the wine industry that are really starting to take off and starting to produce some amazing wines. Some of the major differences between the Old World and New World is winemaking techniques, how they grow their fruit. A major difference is regulations, what's allowed when it comes to farming your fruit and your winemaking techniques and what's disallowed, the different laws in the areas. You can go to so many deep levels in it, but there's all kinds of books on it and everything too. So today I'm going to keep it fairly light. One major difference when referencing Old World versus New World to wine is more or less the flavors they produce. In Old World wine, you tend to have a lot more flavors that can be described as earthy. Let's say you pick up a bottle of Bordeaux or something from Italy. You may get tones of dirt or barnyard or leather, pepper. Like I said, earthy tones. You may hear words like vegetal. Things like that they'll be used to describe the aromas and the flavor characteristics of the wine. New World wines, a lot of the characteristics that you'll hear descriptions of are jammy, fruity, what else? Oaky, chocolate, vanilla, sweeter things like that. More a newer palate style of wine. So today, what I've brought with me to give you an example are two, and hopefully gives you a classic example, are two different Pinot Noirs. First, I've got the Joseph Faivre 2007 Burgundy. And Burgundy, France, the only red grape they plant is Pinot Noir. And if you ever pick up a bottle like this, and if you can see the word on the bottom, it looks like Bourgogne or something like that. The proper pronunciation, so if you pick up a bottle and someone asks you about it, is Bourgogne. It's just French for Burgundy. Usually when you see this on the bottle, Burgundy tends to consist of single lot growing areas. If you see Bourgogne, it usually means the fruit is sourced from different areas of Burgundy. A less expensive Burgundy, but they can still produce really nice wines. So we'll throw these in the glasses here. That's the French one. Now for my New World example, I have the 2008 Connoisseur Pinot Noir from Chile. Now I'm assuming the color in this one's going to be darker. There's going to be a whole lot of different attributes to it. And I got runaway corks here. Let's see, that one's with that one, and that one's with that one. Okay, so right off the bat, here's a classic example of Old World versus New World. Burgundy has been making brilliant, amazing wines for thousands of years. And they've really narrowed it down to the perfect grape that grows in that area. And they come up with some amazing wines. Now, the difference between usually an Old World Pinot and a New World Pinot, it's like I described before, a New World Pinot is going to have more fruit-forward characteristics and January characteristics. An Old World Pinot is going to be lighter and subtle, but with complex flavor notes, more intricate flavor notes, and more elegant flavor notes. That's what I'm assuming. We'll see how these play out. So right off the bat, I don't know if you can see with me, the color is quite different. I'm going to bring these right up so you can see them. Let's just have a look here. I hope you can see that, but the color is way different. The French one, you can completely see right through it. It's quite a light, elegant color. The Chilean one, and the French is more like a ruby color. The Chilean is far darker, and I would say more like a dark purple or a well, something along those lines. All right, so let's see what they have to say to us. So on the Burgundy, right off the bat, the nose is saying things to me like I said before the example, I get dirt on this one right away. Barnyard, I get a little bit of smoke. It's a bit meaty too. Meaty or gamey are the words that I've used to describe this one. It's got an interesting nose. I'm kind of pleased with it. Now let's see what the Chilean ones do. Wow. Okay, they're completely different. This is going to be a great example for you. The nose on the Chilean Pinot is very berry forward or fruit forward. I get a lot of bright red fruits. Let's say like strawberry, raspberry, maybe a bit of plum. There's a little bit of pepper in there as well on this one. Oh, and side note, a good rule of thumb, when you're tasting wines, smell and color are huge indicators as to which wine you should taste first. You should always taste the lighter wine first. I mean, if you taste the lighter wine second, the first wine you taste is going to kind of kill the flavors of the lighter one. There's still dirt on my table from the previous episode. I thought I got rid of that. Okay, so on the Burgundy, pretty classic Pinot Noir. It's got a really nice, complete mouthfeel. Actually, it's got a nice length to it. It keeps going. Light, soft tannins that are integrating fairly well into the wine. I get on this some nice like fig and raisin. But very light fig and raisin, a bit of cassis or black currant, but light. As well as this one, I would say maybe some light white pepper, something along those lines. It's got a very interesting nose. One tasting note I've heard before, and I'd almost attribute to this one just light, is sweaty saddle or wet leather. It smells like that in a way as well. Okay, and for the connoisseur, still showing the same bright red fruits. Now, the French wine as well, it's quite a light-bodied wine. Now, the Chilean Pinot, I would call it a medium-bodied Pinot. This wouldn't surprise me because the regulations are less there if they threw a little bit of Syrah or something in this as well, to get the depth of color and some of the flavor profiles. This one's quite peppery. It's well oaked. The oak's not taking over at all. But you do get some of that vanilla brown sugar characteristics that oak will put into it. And again, on the palate, a lot of bright red fruit, almost jammy, almost like I've just dipped my knife into, well, let's say you took raspberry jam and strawberry jam, mixed them together, threw a little bit of oak in, and tasted it. That's more or less what I'm tasting on this, and it's fairly sweet. I can see this one appealing to a lot of you. A lot of you would probably really like this wine. I don't mind it one bit. This one, again, has the elegance though to it. I really enjoy this one for kind of a classic Burgundy. This one in the mouthfeel is a little bit less balanced. The tannins are a little bit biting in the back. This one could probably lie down for a little bit longer. But at the same time, again, a little bit unbalanced, tighter tannins, not as smooth drinking. This you could almost pair. I mean, classic pairings for Pinot tend to be light fish, a light meat dish, Veggies can go with Pinot, things like that. A light meal. Salmon is a classic pairing for Pinot. This you could almost put with a roast or something like that. I'd almost compare this to the body of a Merlot. Well, as for scoring them, I would give this one, I quite like this one. Again, the 2007 Joseph Fabergé Bourgogne. I'd probably give it about 89 points. I'd be on the edge of saying 90 points, but probably around 89 points. I'd say 89 and a half points. It's quite a nice wine. If you can seek this one out. I think it was about $18 or $19. Not a bad buy at all. The Connoisseur from Chile. And again, this is their organic Pinot Noir. They have 3 different Pinots. Again, they're organic. It's the 2008 Connoisseur Pinot Noir. I'd probably give this one about an 87 for a wine. Not a bad wine, I don't mind it one bit. I'd probably give it about an 87, maybe 86 and a half. Well, there you have it. 2 Pinot Noirs, a classic example of Old World versus New World. I hope this is informative. I hope you learned from it. Thanks for coming out. If you could leave your comments below, we'll see you on the next episode.